Hello and welcome to the second Cyber Ambassador Refresher Training webinar on how can cyber ambassadors deliver cyber education in their schools. So today we're going to be exploring the role of cyber ambassadors, just to have a recap of what cyber ambassadors are meant to do in their schools. Then we're going to look at my top 5 ideas on how you can engage with your classmates. And finally, we're going to evaluate your role as a cyber ambassador with the 6 Thinking Hats tool. So, brief recap of the role of cyber ambassadors. I'm sure that you all know what a cyber ambassador is meant to do, but this is just to give you a little refresher, because I know you've all been off since March and you came back in September, so you had a bit of a period where you weren't actively in your role as a cyber ambassador. So a cyber ambassador will have been trained on supporting and delivering cyber education. As you all know, you would have received your initial training, and this is some refresher training just to top up your knowledge. The cyber ambassador will also act as a point of contact with students on cyber issues. So if any other students have any queries or concerns about anything to do with online safety, you are there and they can come to you. Pass on their learning and offer support to classmates. So your role, as you know, is to educate your classmates on cyber safety issues and help them if things go wrong. Also, work closely with teachers to support the cyber safety curriculum and school policies. So hopefully you have a close relationship with the staff lead for cyber ambassadors and you work with them to decide what you're going to cover and also help to influence school policies. So we really encourage all schools to have a cyberbullying policy and an online safety policy, just laying out what students should do if they have any issues with online safety or cyberbullying, and where they can access help and support and what the school process is. So we think it's really important that cyber ambassadors help to influence those policies. Be a role model to other pupils in relation to positive and safe online behaviour. So this is fairly self-explanatory, but as cyber ambassadors, you should be a role model and not get into any trouble online or not cause any issues online, because otherwise it would be a bit hypocritical of you to say, do this, do that, stay safe online, if you're not setting a positive example. And also not dealing with safeguarding issues. So if you have any concerns about any of your classmates, it's important that you tell a trusted adult so that they can deal with the issue in terms of safeguarding, rather than you having to deal with that your classmate is okay. So, educating your classmates. As a cyber ambassador, as we said, it's really important that you do have the knowledge to educate your classmates. So things that you should be informing your classmates about are online risks and issues. So just looking at what the general topics and issues that your classmates will come into contact with online. For example, grooming, cyberbullying, sexting. You just need to let them know what these issues are. Also, how to navigate safely and confidently online. So again, going back to looking at the online risks and issues, it's important that they know how to be safe and not get into trouble online and not directly face these issues themselves. How to be a responsible digital citizenship. So it's really important that your classmates can use their technology and the internet kindly, safely, responsibly. So it's all about being respectful to others online. Also, what to do if things go wrong online. So what they should do if they think something's gone wrong, how to block, report, those kind of things, and also where they can go and find trust and support, and also learning about what to do if it happens again. So hopefully you would have learned from your experiences and you can build the digital resilience that is needed. So now I'm going to go through top 5 ideas on how to engage with your classmates. So my top 5 ideas on how best to engage with your classmates at the moment. Obviously, I understand that everything is slightly more different than it was before because of COVID. So this is about adapting the cyber ambassador role to the new normal. So some ideas are run workshops for those in your bubbles, record video clips or online assemblies, engage via social media, have a cyber ambassador newsletter or bulletin, and set up a campaign in your school or college. So I will go through each one of these now and explain in a bit more detail about what you could do. So running workshops for those in your bubble. So as you all know, you will be in your bubbles and you can't mix with those outside of your bubbles. So it's really important that those in your bubbles are educated about online safety. So running a workshop, as we mentioned a few slides ago, it's important to educate your classmates about online safety and the risks, what to do if things go wrong, where to get help and support, how to navigate safely and be a responsible digital citizen. So it's a good idea to choose a particular topic. So for example, you could decide that you'd like to quite focus on grooming. Then just give them a brief overview of the topic. So undertake some research, look on helpful websites such as Childline, NSPCC, Think You Know, ChildNet, Safe for Me. There are many helpful websites out there. And if you go onto the Cyber Ambassadors homepage, then there are links to those websites. So undertake some research to give them an overview of the topic. Think about answering as like who, what, why, where, when, how. Think about what questions your classmates may have about the topic and how you can answer them in your workshop. It's a good idea to run an activity on the topic. So we do have some lesson plan ideas on the Cyber Ambassador page, but if there's something that isn't on the Cyber Ambassador page, you can either email me or the Cyber Ambassador's Gmail and ask if we can help you to create an activity, or you can work together as Cyber Ambassadors to create an activity. So the idea is that after giving them the overview of the topic, there's an activity where they can put the knowledge that they've just gained from what you've taught them in practice, just so that it reinforces it and that it actually that goes into their brain rather than going in one ear and out the other ear. So also, once you've ran the activity, also maybe make a quiz or Kahoot to check their knowledge. So hopefully by giving them the overview of the topic, running an activity and having a quiz to check their knowledge, they will actually understand and remember what you've taught them. So that's running a workshop. Also, good idea in the workshop, if you find any fun videos that you'd like to show them, do that as well. Record video clips or online assemblies. So as we said, it's not easy to be able to deliver an assembly in front of the whole year group or the whole school now because of COVID. So one idea in order to still engage your classmates and the whole school is to record video clips or online assemblies. So again, choose a topic that you'd like to focus on and go through what we mentioned just before when running a workshop. So just give them an overview, film some bits and pieces. So video clips, you could, for example, you could do a YouTube video giving them some information or advice about the topic, or you can also film an online assembly, which imagine you're standing up and presenting in an assembly. Do that, but obviously with no one there, and just get someone to film you presenting and then post that so that it can be accessed anytime by your classmates. Engaging via social media. So one idea is to maybe set up an Instagram or TikTok account and get your classmates and those in your school to follow this. So therefore, it's social media, as you know, as Cyber Ambassadors, it's really easy to use social media to reach a large number of people. So as you can see, Milton Cross Cyber Ambassadors have their own Cyber Ambassador Instagram account, which is great. And they post different cyber words of the week, post their top tips to stay safe online. Also, we have a Cyber Ambassadors TikTok. So as you can see on the slide, that is our handle. So feel free to give a follow and like. So it's really important to use social media to engage with your classmates, and I'm sure you know that a lot of you are spending time on your devices at the minute, so it'd be really helpful if when your classmates are flicking through their devices, they can see your top tips on how to stay safe online. Also, having a Cyber Ambassador newsletter or bulletin. So this is something that's also really easy to do. If you just send them a weekly or monthly email out, just containing things about what cyber safety news you've seen. Have you seen anything on BBC News, on Twitter, that you think, yeah, that's really interesting, I'd really like my classmates to know about this. Also, again, giving them top tips to stay safe online, and also information about what cyber ambassadors are doing. So just sending out a newsletter just so that everyone knows exactly what's going on and what the cyber ambassadors are doing and how they can stay safe online. And also another idea is to set up a cyber ambassadors page on the school website. So speak to the teacher in charge of cyber ambassadors and ask if you could have a section on the website just so you can put, again, the cyber safety in the news, your top tips to stay safe online, and update your classmates and any visitors to the website about what you're doing. And finally, you can also set up a campaign. So as a group, it's important to think, is there anything in particular that's affecting your school that you know that your classmates are struggling with online, or that they're coming into difficulties and it's a bit unsafe for them? So have a think and think, is there something as a school that we should really set up a campaign on to educate people about? So for example, if you wanted to do a campaign about, say, fake news, I'm sure you've seen a lot of fake news online at the minute because of COVID. So you can maybe just educate your classmates about what fake news is, how they can spot fake news, why it's important not to share fake news, and do a campaign containing posters. So put posters up on around your school. Even, I don't know if you've got maybe some screens around your school that you could put something on those. Also hand out leaflets maybe. Make videos and short clips about the issue, and also social media posts again. So there's so much you can do, but a campaign is a really good idea to be able to do something that the whole school will know about and that can make a really meaningful difference on a particular topic. And also, if you are setting up a campaign, it's good to decide on a launch date. So when do you want this campaign to start? Maybe a couple of weeks in advance, say, watch out, on this date we are launching this campaign, and then on the launch date make it a really big thing around school that the campaign is launching, and people should watch out on their social media, look at the posters around school, view the videos. So a campaign is a really exciting idea that you can do to educate your classmates about certain issues. So we'll just have a little reflection. So if you're watching this, feel free to pause this and discuss. So think, what 3 topics would you like to educate your classmates about? So just think of the top 3 topics that are affecting people that you know and you think that they need to build up their knowledge on in order to stay safe online. Also think, how would you like to educate them about each topic? So think about the suggestions that I've just given about things you can do to engage your classmates. So would you like to make a video on it, run a workshop on it, do an online assembly, make a campaign? So any of that, so just have a think about that. But obviously there are many more ideas that you can engage your classmates other than what I suggested, but I just gave top 5 ideas. So anything goes. If you've got an idea, just say it, and I'm sure it'll be a great idea. And who is going to be responsible for this? So once you've decided how you'd like to educate your classmates about each topic, have a think who would like to take charge of this. Obviously, they don't have to go at it alone, but it's always helpful to have a plan with who's going to lead it, just so you know who's in charge and who is helping, and each cyber ambassador can be in charge of a different thing. And then finally, when are you going to do this? Is there a deadline? So really just having a think about making a concrete plan about what you'd like to do in your role as cyber ambassadors. This term, thinking who, what, where are you going to do it, why are you doing it, when are you going to do it, how are you going to do it. So just think of the 5 W's and how, and go through those with each idea. So yeah, as I said, if you'd like to take some time to pause this and have a discussion as cyber ambassadors, and then you can all make a plan. So after you've made your plan, then have a think about evaluating your role using the 6 Thinking Hats tool. So the 6 Thinking Hats tool is a great way to evaluate a project or your role as a cyber ambassador. So just have a look. So the white thinking hat is about information and data needs. So some questions that you can ask. What information do you already know about the issues that you'd like to focus on? So going back to your previous discussion about your top cyber safety issues. What information do you still need to find out? And how are you going to find this information out? You're going to research on a website, find a book in the library, do a survey. So just really thinking about how are you going to get the information. So again, if you pause the video after each thinking hat and have a discussion as cyber ambassadors and then feed back to each other. Black thinking hat. So the black thinking hat is thinking about negatives and any risks. So some questions that you can ask are, what challenges have you faced so far as cyber ambassadors and what has gone wrong? And that's for existing cyber ambassadors. But if you're new cyber ambassadors, have a think, what challenges could you face as cyber ambassadors and what could go wrong? Green thinking hat, this is about ideas. So you need to think about how have you, existing cyber ambassadors, thinking about how have you overcame the challenges and issues that you've just discussed. What ideas do you have? How will you overcome the future challenges or issues that we have just discussed if you are existing cyber ambassadors? So just thinking about what's gone wrong previously or what challenges have you faced and how have you managed to overcome them, or how will you overcome any future issues or challenges? The yellow thinking hat is thinking about positives. So what has gone well in your role as cyber ambassador so far? Or if you're a new cyber ambassador, what do you think will go well in your role as a cyber ambassador? And for both existing and new cyber ambassadors, think, what would you like to achieve as cyber ambassadors this year? And then we've got blue thinking hat, managing the thinking process. So have a think, what thinking is needed? So thinking about making the plan. So what do you need to plan? What do you need to think about? How are you going to plan the ideas and produce the results? So thinking about, as I mentioned, organising meetings, organising who's in charge of certain things, setting deadlines. So just making that solid plan that you can follow as cyber ambassadors so that you know what's going on and when it's going on. Red thinking hat, so this is your emotion, your gut feeling. So how are you feeling at the moment? So just have a think, are you feeling excited about the role, a bit nervous? And just think why you're thinking that, and how, if you're feeling nervous, what will make you feel less nervous? How can you address that? So it's really just reflecting on your role as cyber ambassadors, thinking about what's previously gone well, what's previously gone wrong, how have you overcome anything that's gone wrong before, and then thinking about what you'd like to do in the future, how will you do it, how are you feeling about doing it. So it's really useful tool to use the thinking hats just to reflect on your role as cyber ambassadors. So I hope you find this session useful, and as cyber ambassadors you've been able to make a plan about what you'd like to do for the upcoming term or upcoming year. And again, as always, if you need any help, please feel free to email me or email the Cyber Ambassador Gmail. All information can be found on the OPCC Cyber Ambassador homepage. So yeah, I look forward to hearing from you and seeing what great work you'll be doing this year. Thank you very much.